Hey guys, let's spend the next 10 minutes or so talking about embracing the phase we're in, specifically in motherhood. I am 27 years old and currently the mom of two. My youngest is pretty much 4 months old, and my oldest just turned 2, which you'll see some clips of that in this video of her celebration. And it has been challenging to say the least. I had, that period of 2 under 2, and even though she's 2 now, it's still challenging for sure. And I find myself having a difficult time in a lot of situations throughout the day. That's just my reality right now. And I'm doing my best to fully embrace the ebbs and flows of this current phase of life. Motherhood is challenging, and even if you aren't a mother watching this, I'm sure you're going through many different challenges throughout your life, throughout your days, and we can all use a little bit of help in learning to embrace and, for other words, accept what our life looks like right now. And that can be so difficult, especially if we are having, a lot of challenges or we're going through a difficult time, because you think, oh, well, I'm not going to accept the difficulties that are going on right now. If I do that, then nothing's going to change. And what I have to say to that is that is definitely not true. I've found when I lean into acceptance and surrender in whatever I'm going through, it takes off the pressure, it takes off some of the stress, and it allows me to release the idea that I am in full control of everything, and that alone helps me to move through those times, and a lot of the time find myself on the other side of whatever it was that I was struggling with. And just going into each day with this mindset, surrender, let go, accept, that has helped me immensely through the many difficult days I've had, the many difficult moments I've had as a mother of overwhelm, overstimulation, the list goes on. And of course, slowing down and choosing to minimize my life in all areas has really helped me in dealing with these situations, because I have a lot less going on. So my first tip in embracing this season of motherhood that you are in is to remind yourself to surrender and let go. Release the idea that you have full control over your days. Yes, of course, we have control over many things throughout the day, but we do not have control over whether or not our toddlers or our children are going to feel great that day, or are not going to throw a tantrum, or whatever it might be. One thing we are in full control over is how we react, our emotional state. We can choose to focus on regulating our own emotions, and in return, I have found that to really help in regulating my kids' emotions as well. But more on that in a little bit. My second tip to embrace the phase you are in motherhood is to make a list of just a few simple, quick things that you can do that help you to regulate your emotional state, your nervous system. That can be doing a super quick form of movement. I've really been enjoying doing just short 5, 10, 15, 20, whatever I can get in, little Pilates practices. They really help boost my mood and just help get out any of that excess kind of like jittery energy that I have. And of course, it automatically gives me a boost of confidence because I got in movement for that day and I did something for myself. Some other quick little simple things that I do is focus on breath work. That's been a huge thing for me to focus on throughout my days, just taking a moment to take one deep breath in and one long extended exhale out. I try to do more than one, but sometimes I only have time for the one in that moment, and that's okay. You can always come back to this anytime you have a moment to do so. And something else is, for me at least, is making warm, cozy drinks or ice drinks if it's super hot out. It's just like a sweet little treat that I can look forward to. It's a form of self-care to me, and I get creative with it with my matchas or my coffees in the morning. Sometimes I make homemade syrups and I jazz them up a little bit. So those are definitely things that are simple but have made a big difference in my days. And my third tip has got to be to stop doing so much. Really look at the phase that you're in, how old your kids are, how limited your time may be, and cater your days to that. Try not to fill your plate up so much. If you're finding yourself overwhelmed, look at what you can control in your day. I'm going to come back to that idea. What can I control? What can I eliminate? What can I take out of my day that will make me be a better mother, a better person to myself and to my children? Because if you have so much on your plate, the reality is you're setting yourself up for overwhelm. I mentioned this during this period of the video because I failed at this recently, last week, when I set myself and my husband up to do way too much for my 2-year-old now's party. I didn't ask for enough help in food preparation, and I got this idea that, we needed to do it all, and we ended up staying up way too late, multiple nights in a row, just to get this food prepared. And it ended up being so silly. Like, the party turned out good, the cake turned out good, but to me, it wasn't necessarily worth it or necessary to do nearly as much as what we did. I could have simply just made the cake and maybe some guac and chips, and I feel like everyone would have been perfectly fine with that, because most of the food that we ended up making, a lot of it wasn't even eaten. So that, is a lesson learned. And if I would have asked myself, what genuinely do I feel like I can manage? What genuinely do I feel like I have time for? The results would have turned out much differently. And I think I would have showed up to the party a lot more graceful, a lot more calm, and focused on what truly matters. My daughter having a great time, a great day. And she did, but just proving my point that I could have made my life a lot easier. So here are some clips of her party. It turned out super cute. I made the cake, and everybody loved it. I made a cute little veggie platter, as you saw. We made some spinach dip and some sandwiches and some other things as well. And it was just a good time spent outside. We did it at a little park shelter, and she had a great time. Yeah, we just had a little mini gathering with some of our family, and it was honestly just crazy to me that my daughter just turned 2. I've been a mom now for 2 years, and it just gets better.